Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you guys are listening, subscribing, and commenting. I appreciate the support. And of course, if you're interested in supporting me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon or Ko-fi link. They're in the description below. In this one, I want to speak to you guys about how INFJs have this fear, I would say, of exposing themselves, of exposing their inner secrets or their inner lives or the inner depths of themselves. Like most people on this planet, I'm sure, no one really likes people to know their true secrets or things like that. But more so for INFJs, I think we have a deathly fear of it. It's so strong within us that in general we try to keep quiet or silent instead of sharing ourselves with the world, instead of talking about ourselves. My general strategy in the world is, if I'm sitting with a bunch of people and they want me to talk, I'll do a little bit of talking and then I'll direct the conversation back upon them by asking them questions or asking them what they think about this. And then eventually, people just like talking about themselves in general, so it's nicer for me to sit there and listen than for me to talk about what's going on with me in that regard. But the one thing that I found for myself, and I know you guys have as well because I shared it on the community, and there was it was like an uproar of comments, and basically the general gist of it was that most of us, all of us INFJs, are annoyed with ourselves, upset with ourselves, even angry with ourselves when we open ourselves too much and share too much of ourselves with people around us. So when we get too chatty or we're chattering away and we're talking about ourselves and we can't stop ourselves, we literally want to smash our face into the wall because we're so angry or upset with ourselves when we do that. The basic essence of it is that we only get chatty, or we only get conversational or comfortable around very specific people. It only happens for me around, I would say, 2 or 3 people, where I'm literally sitting there and I can chat for hours and hours about myself and what's going on with me without stopping. And it's because I know these people, I've tested them, they're trustworthy, they know me really well, they've seen my dark side, they've seen my ugly sides, they still don't judge me and still want to be around me. And so I am able to continue to share myself with them without feeling like I want to kill myself when I do. So for those people, it's fine. Those 2-3 people that are in my life, I share myself and I don't feel bad about it. But sometimes what happens to us is that perhaps something is within us. Perhaps we've spent way too much time on our own and we have a desire to be around humans and get that human connection. Or perhaps we've been storing something inside of ourselves. There's something inside of us that really wants to come out, but we haven't given it the chance. We're repressing it. And so inadvertently, unintentionally, it'll just come out in a conversation with some random person. And so we're sitting there with someone and all of a sudden the floodgates open and we start talking, and it makes me laugh because I've had so many of these situations where I'm sitting there and the floodgates have opened and I'm just chatting, and I can follow my monologue in my head saying, okay, what are you doing right now, Boom? Like, why are you talking so much? No, just end the conversation right now. You need to end it right now, otherwise you're going to say something you're going to regret. Stop talking right now. And so basically I'm telling myself in my head to stop talking, but I am unable to stop talking, and my tongue as if has run away with itself and just wants to keep on saying things. And the more I say, the more embarrassed I feel on the inside, the more angry I feel with myself, the more ashamed I feel of myself, and the more I keep on talking, perhaps to cover up that discomfort, or perhaps because I just can't stop, or perhaps what usually happens is that I'm waiting for some sort of reaction from the other person or from other people around me. So I'm telling them something and I'm waiting for them to respond or react in a certain way, and they're not doing it. And I'm waiting for it and I'm waiting for it. I just want some kind of reaction. Is it a smile? Is it discomfort? Is it anger? Is it disgust? Is it fear? Whatever it might be, I'm looking for some kind of reaction that I'm not getting. And until I get that reaction, I just can't stop talking. Eventually, I'll notice that everyone's getting uncomfortable, or everyone is getting a little bit antsy around me, or they're getting annoyed, or they're not interested anymore. And eventually I will be able to stop talking, thankfully. It's not a completely infinite kind of thing. It doesn't go on forever. So eventually I do stop talking and I sit there, I think to myself, hopefully someone else starts talking after that, or someone else replies, or the conversation moves on, because at that point I am embarrassed to death. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I just want the ground to swallow me up whole. I never want to come back here again. I never want to talk again. I wish there was something I could do in order to silence myself forever. Of course, that's not really my intention, but it just feels like I go to the other extreme, where I just cannot believe I did this. I cannot believe I said all these things. I kind of rerun my mind through all the different things I've said, and I'm like, what did I say? Did I say this? I can't believe I said that. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that, etc. And then I sit there in silence and vow to myself that I'm never, ever, ever going to say anything else again. And then the cycle repeats when this kind of repeats again, where I go somewhere else a week, 2-3 weeks later, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden my mouth just runs away with itself again, and I cannot stop talking. And as I said, I just go through the whole thing over and over and over and over again. And I think to myself, I used to think to myself, of course, that this is just me, and then I obviously realized it's not, it's just an INFJ thing. And then I shared it on the community, and I got all these amazing, brilliant, depreciating or degrading comments from you guys in exactly the same format as I speak to myself as. Like all of the stuff that you guys said. And if you haven't checked it out yet, I do recommend that you check the community out. All of you guys have been brilliant on there. But just reading the comments, just sitting there one morning, I was sitting there and I was reading the comments, and just reading that made me feel so alive and so happy and so grateful, because I realized that this kind of cycle that I go through, this maddening cycle that really I despise, is not unique within me. It's something that every INFJ goes through, because every single one of you guys had the same kind of insight to it as I do right now, or that I'm speaking about right now. And so you guys are going through exactly the same cycle in your head, and that really just made me so happy. It made me feel like, again, which is the whole point of this whole channel, is that I'm not alone. And even though I do foolish things, it's not just me who does these things. We all do it together as a community, as a people, as a group. Yeah. And so that was really, really nice. And so one of the reasons I wanted to do this video is just to kind of reiterate that you're not alone, that if you do foolish things, there's probably someone else, actually thousands of other people on this planet, considering there's so many billions of us. There's thousands of other people, or hundreds of other people at least on the planet, who do exactly the same things as you, or who have the same fetishes as you, or who have the same inclinations or proclivities as you. And so it is normal, and it's fine. And even if it's not considered normal by mainstream standards, it's still pretty normal. It's okay for you to do or be the way you're asking to be, unless it hurts someone. Then perhaps it's not, unless they want to be hurted, unless they want to be in pain. But besides that, I think most things, if you like manga, or if you like repairing cars, or if you say foolish things, or can't keep a hold on your mouth, and you speak forever and you bore everyone to death, whatever it might be, I think that's one of our main things, is that we have to remember that it's okay. It's not just us, it's all of us that are kind of going through this madness, and it's okay for us to behave the way that we do. And also, again, check out the comments from the community, obviously, but also realize that if this is happening too often for you, that you're sharing things and you're not able to control yourself, there's something missing. Obviously, a lot of us will talk to our journal, or we'll talk to a couple of friends that are close to us, but perhaps you don't have anyone in your life right now that you can really be honest and open with. And that's one of the reasons why you're spilling all your secrets and spilling all your inside stuff onto random strangers, or onto people that are not really trustworthy, or are not really interested. Yeah. And so perhaps that's the thing that is the lesson out of all of this, is that I know that when I share secrets in the group, or in a group that's not really conducive to it, that I haven't been really spending enough time with my friends, or haven't been really journaling enough, or haven't been really sharing my stuff with people that really care about it. And that's one of the reasons why it spills out, basically, trickles over and spills out when I'm around people in general, because human beings need connection. Even though INFJs might think that we're islands and we don't need people, we do. And we need to share certain things with other people in order to feel better about it, or just to share it, or to gauge other people's reaction of it, or to understand it better, whatever it might be. I think that's one of the lessons I take away from it, is that I have not been spending enough time with my friends, and I need to go back and spend some time with them, even if it's a Skype call, or even if it's just a quick call, or even if it's just a quick coffee, so that I can let go of a lot of the stuff that's inside of me to my friends, who will actually be able to receive it in a way that's necessary for me, and receive it in a way where it'll actually help me feel better, rather than just me pouring my heart out to a stranger and then feeling foolish, embarrassed, and ashamed after. I don't like feeling that way. I don't like feeling ashamed about sharing my own stuff, yeah? And so that's the advice that I would give you guys. That's worked for me, that if this happens way too often, or has been happening even once or twice, realize that there's something inside you that needs to come out, and then share it with a friend, or share it with a journal, or share it with yourself. Talk to yourself, so boom, this was what happened. That's what I do a lot. I talk to myself a lot. And so that's what I would recommend to you guys as well. But if you're talking to yourself, try to do it in a closed room by yourself. Maybe people, if you did it outside, they would think you're crazy. Or pretend like you're talking to a camera, and like I do, and do it that way. Anyways, I hope that you guys are having an amazing day, and that you liked this video. And if you did, let me know in the comments below if you have any questions or comments. Of course, I'm here and listening. And if you guys are interested in supporting me further, you can do that by going to my Patreon or Ko-fi link. They're in the description below. I shall see you guys the next time around. Bye for now.